I I decided to I decided to see my stutter not as a disability, but the ability the ability to be resilient, the ability to inspire, the ability to show people na kahit kahit na nahihirapan ako, ah, I can freely express myself, be myself, and achieve whatever I want to achieve.
We talk to people who turn their life's passion into an advocacy. And we start conversations with those who advocate for a cause. This is Speaking of.
Hi everyone, welcome to Speaking of. I'm Charles Ladia, and for this semester, Speaking of shares stories of passion and advocacy that aim to encourage and inspire everyone amidst everything that we are experiencing this pandemic. So I hope that this episode also inspires you like the previous episode we've had this far. And our guest is a BA Speech Communication graduate of the University of the Philippines, Diliman, a TikTok content creator. Follow him at the Fitness Feats, and a person who stutters. So please welcome to Speaking of, Mr. Andre Amador. Hi, Andre.
Hi, hello. Good afternoon, Sir Charles.
Andre, last October 22, we celebrated the International Stuttering Awareness Day. It is to raise public awareness, diba, on stuttering. But what do you think is the essence of this day for the community itself?
Basically, Stuttering Awareness Day is to raise the awareness, the public awareness for for people who stutter, for like myself. So last Friday, we celebrated the International Stuttering Awareness Day. Well, supposedly magkaka-event kami on that day, pero na-move siya since Friday is a work day for most of us. So we moved the online event on a Saturday. So yun, we were fortunate na marami din attend sa event namin. So we had a total of more than 50 Filipinos who stutter all across the country. So meron taga Visayas, taga Mindanao na Filipino who stutter. And yun, basically yung goal ng event is to provide a support group na since stuttering only affects 1% of the population. So sobrang bihira na magkaroon ng stutter yung person. And yun, and the event was created to show na hey, you're not alone, diba? Marami tayo, diba? We have a support group, and we can freely share our stuttering experiences and be for ourselves, diba?
Yes. Tapos, Andre, nasabi mo na 1% no of the world population has stutter. So this is around 70 million, no? And
yes,
I'm
yes.
sure na itong 70 million na to, sabi mo nga, it's very important for them to have a support group. So pag-uusapan namin ni Andre ang kanyang personal journey din in advocating for awareness and knowledge for and about persons who stutter, no? But first and foremost, no, this is not a scientific discussion, no? We're not trying to be medical experts here. So we're just going to, ako as a curious person and Andre as someone who has stutter, we will try to make sense of the experience of people who stutter. Pero before anything else, Andre, let us define first what is stuttering, right? What is this condition called stuttering?
So as ano, as I will discuss later. I my undergraduate thesis was about stuttering, and according to my research, stuttering is primarily speech blocks, prolongations, and repetitions. So those are the primary characteristics of stuttering. Well, yung mga secondary characteristics can take in the form of anxiety, diba? Yung mga unnecessary gestures, yung mga ums and ums, diba? Yung mga filler words, and yun. Let me bring up yung iceberg metaphor, but ni Joe Sheehan. This was the iceberg of Joe Sheehan. So pag na visualize natin yung iceberg, kapag lumulutang siya sa sea, diba? So we only see the top part, diba? Yung topmost part ng iceberg. And we don't really see the bigger part of the iceberg. So relating to stuttering, so on the surface, stuttering is merely repetitions, prolongations, speech blocks. Pero hindi mo nakita yung mas malaking at mas deep na part ng iceberg. So kung ano yung naramdaman ng person, diba? Yung feelings of anxiety, yung feelings of depression, yung feelings of insecurity, low self-esteem, diba? Hindi natin nakikita yon on the surface. Malalaman lang natin if we really know the person, if he or she has the courage to speak out his or her feelings. But
Yes.
stuttering is primarily repetitions, blocks, and prolongations.
Tapos Andre, when I was researching for our podcast, no, nakita ko like even popular people like Marilyn Monroe,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Tapos nabanggit mo rin sa one of your TikTok si King George VI doon sa The King's Speech, and of course very recently naging public issue din yung kay President Joe Biden ng United States of America, at merong mga articles then regarding that topic as well. So, very important din siguro, Andre, to note na stuttering does not have only one form. No, it varies from person to person, 'di ba? Meron din sinasabi sila na some people nawawala siya along the way, for some people na ma-manage siya. Some people started young. Some people would start when they enter their adulthood. But siguro ang main question ng mga listeners ay, is there a medical treatment for stuttering?
I believe once na mature ka na once you entered adulthood, most of the time, or most likely lifetime na yung stutter mo, no? Pero once pero if bata pa yung person who stutters, or children who stutters, if na pagapan siya in a very young age, during their formative years, there is a high chance na yun ma-remove completely yung stutter nila.
Let's go to your own personal experience now. When did you realize that you have stutter, and what do you think are the memories that you associated with when you were younger?
Yes. So I had this condition ever since. No? It affected the way I speak. Obviously, my relationships, my friends, the social circle that I was a part of, the activities that I chose, and ultimately the path I've taken within my life. No? One of my earliest memories was during grade school. Feeling ko mga grade 1 or grade 2 ata to.
So,
Since,
sobrang bata pala, Andre, no?
yes. So, yun. So, yun. Uh, uh, this was during the first day of classes. And since alam na natin during first day of classes, diba? We need to say our names, we need to introduce our likes, our dislikes, our hobbies. And naalala ko one time, one by one, nag take kami ng turns, diba? To introduce. And habang palapit ng turn ko, pabilis yung heart rate ko, no? So if I was getting more nervous as my turn nears. Tapos nung tinawag na ang teacher ko, syempre I stood up. Tapos the moment I stood up, I felt the shake. Sobrang nanginginig yung buong katawan ko, yung knees ko nanginginig. Tapos if I walk slowly towards the stage, tapos humarap ako sa classmates ko. And nung sinabi ko while I was facing my classmates, hindi lang yung knees ko yung nanginginig, no? Pati na rin yung mouth ko nanginginig din. So naging machine gun yung mouth ko, no? Hindi bullets lumalabas, pero failure words. Failure words yung lumalabas sa mouth ko. And yung first line ko, sabi ko sa classmates ko, "Good morning, classmates. My name is Andre." Tapos lahat sila nagtawanan. Tapos yung isang classmate ko, sabi niya, "Uy, nakalimutan ba yung name mo?" Tapos nung narinig ko yun, I felt the shame, the humiliation, diba? Tapos because of that, nag-deteriorate yung self-esteem ko, yung confidence levels ko. And these were happening while I was 5, 6, 7 years old. So, very, very young. Tapos
Yes.
na damage na yung confidence ko, yung self-esteem ko. So, it really left a deep emotional wound.
Yes. Tapos, Andre, no, kasi very vivid yung memory na yon, no? So I feel that that moment is still with you right now, and the way you also advocate for stuttering also focuses on also puts highlight on that moment, no? Pero isipin din rin natin, Andre, yung socialization mo when you were younger. Sabi mo kanina na apektuhan yung building of your friendships, no? So how did having stuttering affect that building that relationship, that support system that you needed sana when you were growing up?
Yes. So let me raise na yun, very prevalent pa yung discrimination towards people who stutter. Pag may if i-compare natin, diba? Pag may nakita tayong physically challenged, like meron siyang limp, diba? Or kahit blind person, we most of the time we tend to show sympathy for them, no? Pero pag may nakita tayong na utal, diba? From a stutter, different yung reaction natin, no? And based from my experience, based from my childhood experience na yun, napagtawanan ako na discriminate ako. And yun, to answer your question na, it really affected my confidence yun. Mas naging ano ako, reserved person ako. Hindi ako masyado interactive. Mas naging shy ako. I know na deep inside me, I'm an extroverted person. Pero because of my condition, there are times na force ako maging introvert na lang. Because I can't be an extrovert. And yun, because of being a shy person, being hesitant to communicate, dun na apekto yung pag-develop ng social skills ko.
Tapos Andre, na-realize ko lang, no, how of course educational systems are also very important as support systems, no? Yung teacher, di ba, and even your classmates. But growing up, Andre, kasi now, no, you're a very confident person, right? You now share your thoughts with other people. Who were there with you, or who were your support system helped you, no, grow from that grade 1 student na medyo may issues on confidence and self-esteem because of the environment to where you are right now? So who were there around you during these times?
So I grew up with my grandparents, with my lola and lola, and single parent lang kasi yung mom ko. So she's a single mom. Tapos from an early age, hindi nila pinapakita sa akin na I'm different, diba? I'm different from other kids. Hindi nila pinapakita na may stutter ako. So actually I found out lang na may stutter ako, na may condition ako when I entered school. Parang na-realize ko na parang bakit yung ibang kids, diba? Bakit yung ibang kids kaya nila salita fluently, dire-diretso, walang stutter. Tapos myself, I see myself as pa putol-putol, diba? Ulit-ulit yung salita ko. So doon ko lang na-realize na may condition pala ako. And through that realization, since these were all happening in an early age, wala pa akong mature na coping mechanisms to handle that. Yun, negative yung it affected me in a negative way, no? Yun, bumaba yung self-esteem ko, yung confidence ko.
Yes. So ang laking part pala nung kung sino ka ngayon, no, with your confidence and with your self-esteem came from your family as your support system. At tama ka, Andre, no, we don't see a lot, we don't see the whole detail, the whole experience. We don't know what's going behind a person who stutters, no?
Before I answer the question, may naalala lang memory, diba? Since today yung struggle namin. I remember sa jeep, diba? Sa ikot jeep or sa kahit anong jeep man. Laging sakto yung bayad ko sa jeep. Kasi diba kapag let's say nagbayad ka ng 20 pesos sa jeepney driver, syempre yung kuya, diba, itatanong pa sa'yo kung saan to, diba, kung saan ka bababa. Since as a person who stutters, yung pinakaayaw kong maranasan, 'di ba? Yung when someone is asking you, especially coming from a stranger. Tapos yun, since yun, laging sakto yung bayad ko. So make sure ko, 'di ba? Whenever I plan to ride the jeep, parating may dala akong coins. Para hindi ko na sasabihin kung saan ako bababa. And one more story sa jeep. One time malapit na yung stop ko. And sabi ko sa driver, para mag-stop siya. Manong, para po. Ayun. Nakalagpas na ako sa stop ko. Halos mga 1 minute or 2 minutes ata yan. Yun. Hindi niya narinig yung word na para. So ang layo na ng stop ko. So kailangan ko pa mag-wait ng stoplight para makaba at yun maglakad na malayo. Yun. So these are the challenges we experience as a person who stutters. And yun.
At sana, Andre, sa mga nakikinig or nanonood sa atin sa podcast, no, I do hope that they also learn something as you share these stories, that they identify with these stories as well, or mas maintindihan sana yung pinagdadaanan din ng mga kapatid at mga kakilala nating persons who stutter.
Yes,
Pero, Andre, ang interesting kasi is, and I remember this vividly, when you shifted from your old program to speech communication at the University of the Philippines, Diliman. So, siguro pinaka-interesting yun kasi, Andre, when you told me just right now, no, because when you were still my student, hindi naman natin napapag-usapan yung personal aspects, no, pero when you said that you started stuttering early on, and that also of course negatively impacted on the way you communicate the public, lalo na mas maraming tao, no? So take me to that moment when you decided to shift to speech comm.
Yung first course ko sa UPS, I entered as a student of computer engineering. Yun. Since nung high school, hindi talaga masyado magaling sa English, diba? Since merong recitation doon, merong yun. Kasi our English grade was based on was partly based on recitations and quizzes. Yun. Since super baba ng grades ko sa English, I compensated sa math skills ko. Yun, na gustuhan ko yung math kasi it doesn't require much talking, diba? since numbers lang yan and you do it on paper. I chose computer engineering as my first choice sa UP. And na-realize ko, parang mas okay yung computer science, diba? Kasi yung difference na medyo technical na to. So yung difference ng computer engineering and computer science is yung computer science is focused on programming. So yung code na Java, yung Python, diba? What we use to program apps, to create apps. Yan. Mas gusto ko yung field na yan. So from computer engineering, my freshman year to I shifted to computer science on my second year. And sobrang determined na ako na okay, I will graduate UP as a graduate of computer science. But through life experiences, diba? Syempre, you if encounter challenges sa ano mo sa buhay mo, tapos na explore mo din yung mga likes and dislikes mo, you know yourself better through time. Hindi ko na feel yung passion, 'di ba, sa computer science, and super tight din ng competition. As I was learning more about myself, I saw that merong potential, merong opportunity sa condition ko. Because with this condition, you could either be depressed, let your stutter conquer you or defeat you, or you could use your stutter as a way to inspire people. And yun, I chose speech communication kasi yun nga, I want to study stuttering, and I feel na meron akong maaambag sa field of stuttering. Kasi medyo ano pa medyo understudied pa yung
Yes.
value ng yung area ng stuttering. And yun, I was looking for courses related to speech pathology. Kaso wala pang walang speech pathology sa sa UP Diliman. So sa UP Manila pa yung yung speech path. So I chose the closest course related to speech pathology, which is speech comm. So yun, I chose speech comm to study stuttering.
Yes.
And feeling ko meron contribute.
Yes, and you did just that when you created or when you wrote your thesis on stuttering, no? So when I was reading the paper, Andre, na-realize ko, kasi it's a quantitative paper, so you needed a lot of respondents, di ba? And
Yes.
nabasa ko, you had 50 respondents. Was it difficult to find respondents, to find people who stutter?
It was difficult since only 1% of the population has a stutter, and of course, 1% na yun, not all, diba? Most are not yet comfortable sharing their stuttering, diba? Hindi pa sila willing to share their stuttering experiences. So fortunately, we have social media, and nagulat ako when I was searching for participants, na sobrang dami na parang stuttering groups sa Facebook. Like if you will search was stuttering groups sa Facebook, marami yan. And what I did, I joined each group one by one, diba? Yung for lahat ng stuttering groups, and then I posted parang who here are Filipinos, diba? Yun, fortunately marami na-comment. And then sa mga comments, I messaged them one by one, and yun, I met a lot of Filipinos who stutter through that method, and one of them actually invited me to their group chat, and nalaman ko lang na hindi lang maraming Facebook groups, Facebook stuttering groups, kundi meron ding one GC full of na all are Filipinos who stutter. So one one GCN. So it's really relieving what to find out na meron palang online community na
Yes.
Filipinos who stutter, and that helped me with my thesis.
At parang support group ba siya, Andre? Like, can you share questions? Can you ask questions? Can you share inquiries dito? Tapos, sumasagot sila to help you out?
Yes. Actually, yung sa GC, regularly nag-share sila ng mga stuttering experiences. Parang, ay, ganito yung na-feel ko kanina during reporting, diba? Nung nabanggit ko yung jeep story, ang dami nakarelate, diba? Nag-burst yung GC namin once na may nag-bring up ng jeepney story. So, doon ko nalaman yung na sobrang dami naming similar experiences.
Tapos, Andre, your thesis then shared a lot of interesting insights, no, regarding the lives of Filipinos who stutter, no. Tapos, sinabanggit mo kanina, of course, it affected the self-esteem, no. Marami sa mga respondents mo yung nagsabi na their self-esteem got affected. But what made it more interesting for me is ang taas ng communication apprehension ng mga people who stutter, no? It's scary, or they are afraid to share their thoughts or to communicate with other people. Ikaw, Andre, maybe my question is, ikaw din ba ay merong communication apprehension, and how do you manage communication apprehension? Kasi sabi dun sa paper mo, it triggers, 'di ba, stuttering kapag you feel very anxious about a situation. May coping strategy ka na ba na nalaman or na-discover na ma-manage mo siya sa sarili?
Yes. Yung one of the main reasons why then na I wrote the thesis is like yung sinabi ko kanina. I think Filipinos who stutter will go through similar, if not same life challenges, and it really matters to me, if merong nahirapan na 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 person who stutters out there sa kanilang stutter, if may nahirapan na student kasi nabubully siya, diba? Or napagtatawanan siya dahil sa kanyang stutter. It matters to me kasi ako nabully din. Nabully din ako, napagtawanan din ako. And also there was a time then last year, I was unemployed for like 5 months or 6 months. And yun, it really matters to me if meron ding unemployed person out there na nahihirapan makakuha ng work kasi nahirapan sila sa mga job interviews, diba? Hindi nila ma-communicate properly. And yun, it really matters to me. And to answer the question, yun, I do have communication apprehension, kahit if it may seem na confident person ako, pero factually it never goes away, no? Yung apprehension mo, yung nervousness mo, mas obvious lang siya before, nung hindi ko pa siya na cope in a healthy way, especially nung childhood days ko, no? Hindi ko pa alam kung paano i-manage yung communication apprehension ko. And one of my I think this is my main coping mechanism. I think confidence is 90% mindset. Nasa mindset yan, how you see things, diba? I only see the good in each situation. I'm an optimistic person. So let's see this for this podcast, diba? What 2 days ago, diba? You messaged me last week. Parang, hey, Andre, pwede ka bang sumali sa podcast namin? Yun. But first, as a person who stutters with communication apprehension, yung subconscious mind ko, siya sabi niya, hindi, wag, don't do the podcast kasi ma-expose ka, kikita ng iba na may stutter ka, magiging vulnerable ka. Pero I used my coping mechanism. I saw the good in the situation na inisip ko, kahit na mahirapan ako sa podcast, kahit alam ko na ma-expose ako, kahit alam kong magiging sobrang worse yung stutter ko during the podcast, I know someone out there, I know some of your audience, I know na they will benefit greatly sa podcast na ito. I know they will be inspired, they will be motivated, especially yung mga people na going through similar challenges, diba? If they have problems or issues with their confidence, diba? If they're insecure in how they communicate, I know na by doing this podcast, he or she will greatly benefit from this.
Yes. Tapos, Andre, parang ganito rin yung coping mechanisms ng mga respondents mo sa study, no? Nang nakalagay doon sa mga respondents ay, of course, the acceptance of the condition, nandun yung positive framing, sinasabi mo na look at the brighter side of things. Mm-hmm. Pero nakita ko rin sa iyo yung may active coping, no? You always try to challenge, lalo na thank you very much for accepting the podcast and allowing us to see some of your vulnerabilities then, no?
Yes. Yung most effective daw na coping mechanism, most effective meaning na increase yung self-esteem nila, and at the same time na lessen yung communication apprehension nila is what I mentioned earlier, which was positive reframing. So siya yung number 1, positive reframing. And then number 2 is distraction, self distraction. So one, for example, is keeping yourself busy, diba? Pag busy ka sa work or sa school, hindi mo na iisip yung mga problems mo. So that's one example of self distraction. And the third one is active coping and religion. So medyo same sila yung medyo same sila ng effectiveness, no, yung active coping and religion. And yun, you're right, I use all three of those coping mechanism.
And itinodo mo pa siya, Andre, because you also are advocating for stuttering awareness, no, sa TikTok, and then noon ngang International Stuttering Awareness Day, no, gaano ka-importante para sa iyo to advocate for this advocacy, for the stuttering awareness?
Well, like you said, I'm very active in coping with my stutter. I join, yun nga, I joined Toastmasters, diba?
Yes.
For those who don't know, Toastmasters is an organization for public speaking. So yun, sa Toastmasters meron din speech contest. So yearly I joined speech contests. Yun. Besides that, yun, I help other people who stutter. So I keep in touch with them, and at the same time, yun, I join these kinds of podcasts din to
Yes.
to spread the awareness.
Tapos, ibig sabihin talaga, parang people within the own community support each other, no? And that's a very important aspect, lalo na you understand what they're going through kasi you also went through the same thing, no? What do you think, Andre, is if you will choose one misconception about stuttering that you think should be corrected, what would that be?
I think yung misconception na na people who stutter are not capable or smart. No? I think I've experienced that so many times before na hindi ako kinakausap ng mga people, diba? Because ay may stutter yan. Baka he's not smart, diba?
Yes.
He might be mentally challenged. So I think I took that personal, and we should state na there are a lot of people who stutter na famous musicians, diba? Like si Elvis Presley, si Ed Sheeran, diba? And a good example si Joe Biden, diba? He entered politics with a stutter, naging senator siya, naging vice president siya, and now, diba, the US president. So it's there's a ton of evidence na walang relationship yung intelligence and stuttering.
Andre, last question, no? What would you want to tell a young person with stutter who is experiencing discrimination right now? Because we don't know, no? Maybe somebody out there who doesn't have a support system, who doesn't know anyone with stutter, and when he or she sees this video, what do you want to tell that someone who experiences bullying because of stutter?
So don't be depressed. Don't let it conquer you. Don't let it defeat you. Have the courage to be open, be vulnerable, and be confident. And let me tell you what confidence really means to me. Confidence is not feeling you're better than someone else, but confidence is feeling that you are willing to be open, you are willing to be exposed, wala kang tinatago, diba? You're willing to be vulnerable, and it's really okay for you to show your weaknesses, to show your vulnerabilities, to show your insecurities. Just be yourself. Just stutter as much as you can, as much as you want, because by doing so, you will inspire people.
Yes, and please know that there are support groups out there, no, on Facebook and a lot of different social media platforms for everyone
And
who
visit,
have stutter. Go.
if I may, Sir Charles, relating to the support group, you please visit the Philippine Stuttering Association, Philippine Stuttering Association, in Facebook. So we also offer speech therapy. We have a licensed speech language pathologist. he's one of our members. So if you're really struggling, diba, you can seek professional help. Just message our Facebook page. And right now, diba, speak in your podcast, Sir Charles. And sobrang grateful talaga ako na ma ma-invite sa podcast mo. And if if I would do it all over again, diba? If God will give me a chance, if sinabi ni God sa akin, you can either live with your stutter or live without a stutter, mas pipilian ko pa na to live with a stutter. Why? Because my stutter is a gift and opportunity, a tool to inspire people, to help people and change their lives. So I would rather live with my stutter.
Thank you very much, Andre. I learned a lot from this conversation, your struggles, your everyday experiences, and of course, your inspiration towards me and all of our viewers and listeners. Thank you very much, Andre, and thank you very much to all our listeners. I do hope that you learned something new and you got inspired by this conversation. We'll see you in our next episode. Thank you.
Bye.
This is Speaking of.